Hi, I'm Brian Hone, and welcome back to In the Studio, a new series that takes you into the studios of a few artists who call Boston home. Last week we met up with Maria Finkelmeyer. This week we're headed to Massachusetts College of Art and Design, where we'll meet Christian Restrepo. Let's head into the studio with Christian.
My name is Christian Restrepo, and I'm the studio manager for the fashion department here at Mass Art. While I make clothes, my end goal isn't for it to be fully practical or fully functional. Like, if I wanted to have a brand or make wearable clothes, then that's a whole different practice. For me, it's about kind of learning and experiencing and playing with different materials and seeing how you can take an ordinary thing, something so mundane like staples, and make it this really beautiful sculptural object that, one, you would want to have in your house, but also, if you could, wear it. I don't even like to really call myself an artist or a designer. I'm more of just this human person that makes things. I'm very much more interested in the process of creating rather than the final product. Textile development and making garments is my main practice. I'd like to think a good creative person is well-rounded in as many scopes as possible, so I like to dabble in a couple other mediums. It's really become a form of therapy for me, especially because it's such a repetitive process, the staple textile at least. So it really gives me this time to spend with myself. The beginning of this year, I started this big personal project. I turned 30 this past summer. So I got the idea of creating this new body of work composed of 30 different objects. And as the years progressed, the project itself has kind of grown and evolved into and taken different directions. So now it's still about me turning 30, and the premise is still 30 objects, but they're all garments or fashion objects that are inspired by my Colombian heritage with the Western influences of growing up in the United States. So this is the staple textile, and the idea came to me when I was living in New York City after graduating from Mass Art and being too poor to buy fabric and nice fabric or buying lots of beads to embellish my own. And I was at my day job one day just kind of stapling a piece of paper, and I liked the way that the light reflected off of the staples, so I kept stapling the paper, and it created this really beautiful effect. So I was let me try it with some fabric, and since then I haven't really stopped stapling, but the staples in repetition create this really beautiful kind of structure to the linen, and when you crumple it up, it creates really beautiful kind of moments. For me, even after I think 3 weeks of being in quarantine, I was I need to be in a different space. So even just fully rearranging my whole house, my room, and moving all my furniture and putting new art on the walls or just redecorating really kind of made the space I've been locked in feel new and fresh. To say it's a weird time is very an understatement. This whole moment that we're living in has really given me this, I think, much needed time to reflect on these ways of thinking that we've been so conditioned to think about, and it's really making me question a lot of things. And on the flip side, really it's made me appreciate kind of my family history and my heritage so much more. It's an outcome of so many generations worth of decision making and so many generations of suffering that I have the privilege of not having to deal with. I have the privilege of living in a time where I can be openly who I am and make and survive off of that. You can find me on Instagram at ch_Restrepo or online at www.chrestrepo.com.
Christian, thanks so much for that fantastic studio visit, and thank you for this awesome garment. Up next, we'll meet Raina Lowe, a calligrapher, illustrator, and educator in Boston. We'll see you in the studio with Raina.